If you're going to Disney World for the very first time, or maybe you're considering going, in this video I'm gonna share with you 14 things I wish I knew before going to Disney World for the very first time. Because believe it or not, planning a trip to Disney World can be very overwhelming. There's so much to see, so many rides to try, and so many decisions that you need to make that it can be a lot. The goal here is to give you all the information you need that will save you time, money, and a whole lot of stress. That way you can focus on actually enjoying your trip. Just full transparency, I'm not an expert by any means. This information is based on personal experience. With that said, let's go over the first thing, which is planning your days in advance. Disney World is very big. It has 4 theme parks, lots of rides, shows, and dining options. Trying to do everything on the fly can quickly become overwhelming. That's why it's so important to plan ahead. Planning your days in advance can save you hours of walking in circles. It will also save you from waiting in long lines or missing out on must-do attractions. So to better plan your trip, you can start by deciding what parks you want to visit on which days. So for example, let's say that you're going to Disney World for 4 days. You could actually do 1 park per day. That will obviously depend whether or not you only want to do Disney World during your entire stay in Orlando, Florida. And that will also depend on your budget. Disney tickets are not cheap and it can quickly become very expensive to try to do all the parks. And like I just said previously, that will also depend on you and your plans. You can also choose to do 2 parks and do something else the other 2 days. The next thing you can do is to make a list of the rides that you want to try, also the shows that you want to see, and the character experiences for each park. Then you can organize it geographically within the park to maximize your time. That way you don't waste time and energy walking from one end of the park to the other end of the park. And the last thing you want to consider is crowd patterns and park hours. Early mornings and late evenings are often less crowded. So planning your day around these patterns will help you actually do more rides and just enjoy more attractions with less stress. The second thing is to stay on site if you can. Now this one can make a huge difference on your Disney experience, especially if you're gonna visit more than 1 park and are going for several days. Staying at a Disney hotel isn't just about convenience. It actually comes with some major perks that can save you money, time, and a whole lot of stress. First, you get early park entry, which means that you can get into the parks 30 minutes before they open to the public. That might not sound like much, but it's enough time to ride 1 or 2 of the most popular attractions without having to wait 1 to 2 hours in long lines. Second, transportation is completely taken care of. Whether it's the Disney buses, the monorail, or the Skyliner, staying on site means that you don't have to worry about having to drive, parking fees, or traffic. You can just hop on one of these transportation options and be at the park in minutes. And that's super nice, especially when you're tired after a long day at the parks. And one more underrated perk is that you can actually take breaks throughout the day. If you're traveling with kids or anyone who needs a breather from the heat during the day, it can be a really nice perk to be able to go back to your resort, cool off at the pool, and then come back for the fireworks show at night. I would only suggest to stay on site if you want the full Disney experience and are actually gonna go to more than 1 park and are planning to stay in there for several days. But for example, let's say that you only want to go to the Magic Kingdom park and the other days maybe try Universal parks, I wouldn't recommend to stay at a Disney hotel. I don't think that will be the best option, and I think it's actually gonna be more affordable to stay at an Airbnb or another hotel. Now, the third thing is to arrive early. I'm talking about 30 to 45 minutes early. This is what Disney fans call rope drop, when guests are first allowed into the park. If you're already inside and ready to go when the rope drops, you can head straight to the most popular rides before the lines start to build up, which means that you can ride attractions like Space Mountain, Rise of the Resistance, or Flight of Passage with little to no wait, and sometimes even twice. It also makes your morning so much more relaxed. You'll get to experience cooler temperatures, shorter lines, and take photos in front of the castle before the crowds arrive. Plus, starting early actually gives you more flexibility later in the day. If you're staying on site, you can take a midday break, go back to your resort for lunch or swim, and go back to the park refreshed for the nighttime fireworks show. The fourth thing is to check the weather and pack accordingly. The weather in Florida is very unpredictable. It can go from sunny with 95 degrees outside to pouring rain, and all this happens in a matter of minutes. So before you head to the parks, always check the weather and just go prepared. If you're visiting during the summer, expect heat and humidity. Bring lightweight breathable clothes, sunscreen, sunglasses, and maybe a small portable fan or a cooling towel. Hydration is key, so make sure you bring a refillable water bottle. But even on those hot, sunny days, rain can happen suddenly. Afternoon showers are very common, and trust me, Disney ponchos at the park are very overpriced. So pack your own poncho or bring an umbrella. If you're visiting during the cooler months, mornings and evenings can get really chilly, so pack a light jacket or sweatshirt. The fifth thing is to wear comfortable shoes. This one is very obvious, but I cannot stress it enough. Wear comfortable shoes. Disney World is massive. You'll easily walk 8 to 12 miles per day without even realizing it. Skip the cute sandals and brand new sneakers and go for a well broken in walking shoe or athletic sneakers with good support. Thing number 6 is to pack a small bag with your essentials. You don't have to carry a ton of stuff, but having the right essentials can actually make your day easier. Just start with the basics. Things like sunscreen, hand sanitizer, a refillable water bottle, and wet wipes. Also bring a portable phone charger because you'll be using the My Disney Experience app constantly throughout the day for maps, ride times, character meet and greets, and mobile food orders. Trust me, your battery will drain fast. I just mentioned it, but pack a refillable water bottle and some snacks. Disney allows you to bring food into the park, so having snacks can actually save you money in those hangry moments. Other small but helpful things are things like band-aids, pain relievers, and a mini fan or cooling towel. Keep everything in a lightweight backpack or crossbody bag that's easy to take on rides, and also that's comfortable to wear all day. Trust me, a little preparation here goes a long way in keeping your day smooth, organized, and stress-free. Thing number 7 is to pack snacks to save money. If you are on a budget, the best thing you can do is to bring your own snacks and drinks. Snacks and drinks are very overpriced at the parks. You can easily spend over $6 just on a water bottle. If you want to eat at the Disney parks, that's totally fine, and that's something I like to do personally, but between meals it's good to have snacks. Trust me, Disney food adds up really fast. Between snacks, drinks, and meals, you can easily spend hundreds of dollars in just one day. Another bonus is that the money that you save on those snacks, you can use it to splurge on 1 or 2 special Disney treats, like a Dole Whip or a themed restaurant meal, without feeling guilty of overspending. Thing number 8 is to use mobile ordering. I think this is one of the most underrated tools in the entire app. The way that it works is that instead of standing in long lines for quick service meals, you can order your food right from your phone. You can pick a restaurant, choose a meal, select an arrival window, and pay through the app. Then when you're nearby, you click on the button that says "I'm here," and within minutes, your order is ready for pickup. It's a lifesaver during peak meal times, while everyone else waits 30 to 40 minutes in line just to order. This is especially helpful if you're traveling with kids or a big group of people. Thing number 9 is to make dining reservations 60 days out. So fast food restaurants are very different from dining restaurants. The good dining spots at the theme parks fill up really fast. Disney opens dining reservations 60 days before your trip. And if you want to eat at a popular restaurant, like for example, one that's called Be Our Guest, or maybe Cinderella's Royal Table, you have to book as soon as that window opens. Like the second that it hits midnight or 6 a.m. in the morning. Those highly sought after restaurants fill up fast, sometimes within minutes. So set a reminder on your phone for 60 days out before your trip and have a list of your top choices ready to go. And don't stress if you don't get what you want right away. Keep checking the app because a lot of times people cancel their reservations, even a day or 2 before their trip. Thing number 10 is to bring a portable stroller fan. This one will be a game changer if you're traveling with small kids. Florida heat is very, very bad. It's humid, it's sticky, and the parks do not offer a ton of shade. So if your child is in a stroller fan can be one of the best investments you can make. These little fans clip onto your stroller and keep your child cool while you're walking around the parks. It might sound like a small thing, but when it's 95 degrees outside and the sun is beating down, it can make a huge difference on how comfortable your child is. Look for one that's rechargeable and has multiple speed settings. Thing number 11 is to download shows or movies for waiting. Especially if you're traveling with kids, download movies, shows, and games before you go. Disney World is very fun, but if I'm honest here, there's a lot of walking and waiting involved. Lines for very popular rides can be up to 2 to 3 hours sometimes. A tip is to bring headphones or small earbuds so everyone can actually enjoy their shows without bothering other guests. Thing number 12 is to visit during special events if you can. One thing that can completely transform your Disney World trip is timing your trip around special events. Disney hosts amazing season events like Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party, Mickey's Very Merry Christmas Party, or festivities at Epcot. These events aren't just fun, they actually come with some perks. For example, during ticket events like the Halloween event or Christmas event, the parks are less crowded than usual, and you get access to unique shows, parades, themed treats, and even special character meet and greets. And these are things that you will not often see during a normal day. A couple tips is to plan ahead and buy tickets early, because trust me, special events often sell out fast. And also check what rides and attractions will be open during the event. Sometimes some areas close early or operate differently. Thing number 13 is to not miss the nighttime show. The nighttime shows at Disney World are on a whole different level, from fireworks at Magic Kingdom to Fantasmic at Hollywood Studios. And here's the thing, these shows are not just pretty, they're experiences that I think you'll remember forever. And thing number 14 is to plan rest days. Disney World is very fun and incredible, but is also very exhausting. Between walking miles every day, waiting in long lines, and dealing with Florida heat, you can easily burn out. That's why it's important to plan rest days in advance. And actually, a rest day doesn't have to be boring. It could be a relaxing morning at your resort, a pool day, or even a resort activity. Taking a day off from the parks will give your body and mind time to recharge. And if you're traveling with kids, rest days are even more essential. If your kid is tired and overstimulated, it can actually make your park day very stressful. So those are my top tips I wish I knew before going to Disney World for the very first time. And I hope these tips make your trip more smoother, stress-free, and actually enjoyable. However, if you're trying to decide whether to go to Disney World or Disneyland and see what park is right for you and your family, go ahead and check out my video where I go over all the key differences, pros and cons between Disney World and Disneyland. I break everything down from rides to dining options, crowds, and experiences so you can make the best choice for your trip. I'm gonna go ahead and leave it on the screen so you can watch it next.